Hi friends, it's Siva. I wanted to make a video on wearing eye protection with a fencing mask because there's surprisingly few resources out there. When I was looking for information, I had to search websites and forum posts and videos and a bunch of different resources and sort of compile that information while I was researching my options. So I thought this video would be a useful one-stop shop for other people. Although my concern was with a fencing mask, this should actually be helpful to people doing paintballing or airsoft or any other sort of face protective gear. So to introduce the problem, I have extremely bad vision and I have to wear corrective lenses for everything. However, most glasses won't fit comfortably inside of a fencing mask, or they're easily jarred loose, or taking them on and off pushes them against your face or knocks them off. There are a number of different options that you can do, but all of them kind of have pros and cons and concerns. And then it can also be financially prohibitive to try some of them because it's so expensive. And even if your regular glasses fit under your fencing mask, you might be worried about breaking them. So in this video, I want to go over all the different options and the pros and the cons, so to help you when you go to explore your options. I'm going to put links to everything down in the description box in case you want to purchase or investigate any of the things that I'm talking about. So I will start with the obvious solution, contacts. If you can wear contact lenses, that's going to probably be the superior option for pretty much everything, like all sports except maybe swimming. However, not everyone can wear contacts. For me, I can only wear contacts for a short period of time, which makes them not really reasonable if I'm wearing my fencing mask all day because I can't be taking them in and out of my eyes constantly. It's not really reasonable, and it's probably not hygienic when I'm at a gym or something. So this video is for folks who can't wear contacts to explore all their alternatives. So the type of mask that you wear will be relevant. Some masks that tend to fit eye correction better than others. Leon Paul is a name that I've heard mentioned lots of times as something that's very comfortable. I use a KIL mask. I'll link that down below. Additionally, no matter what type of mask you get, you might want to practice putting the mask on and off after you get your eye protection. One tip I can give you is that if you put on your mask and take it off chin first, that will always help. That is definitely the way to go. Now on to the various options. The most simple thing that you can go with is a pair of cheap glasses. You buy the glasses online at a cheap place like Zenni, you get a strap for the back, and you're all set. At a site like Zenni, you can get glasses for as low as $10 a pair, which is good if you don't want to make a big financial investment and you just want to try them out, and also if you break them. They have a site filter where you can limit the size of your glasses to dimensions that you know will fit under the fencing mask. You can also upgrade your lenses to a high impact resistant lens like polycarbonate. I think polycarbonate is an extra $9, and they will work for higher prescription ranges, although there is a surcharge for $16 if you have really bad eyes like I do. Regular glasses are not going to fog up, or they're going to fog up the least of anything because obviously they're very open around the top and the sides. Sweat may be an issue with glasses, both for covering the lenses and making them slide down your nose, so that is something to consider. Also, glasses are going to move around the most of any option. They're going to be most likely to come on and off when you take the mask off. They're most likely to get jostled to the side. However, they may be fine if you're doing an activity where you're not getting bumped in the head a lot or you're not going to the ground. So weighing your options sort of depends on what you are using them for and what your mask is for. So Zenni frames are lower quality. They're economy glasses, and as a result, they may be more likely to break. However, if you're spending just $20 on a pair of glasses, it's kind of not a big deal if it breaks. So as far as choosing your frames, I recommend against wire frames or anything with really sharp edges. Wire frames can get pushed into your face and they can cut you, same if they have the little nose pads. Rimless options might be good, but probably the best pick is a flexible plastic, or at least a soft plastic that has some give to it. Overall, glasses have the biggest selection of options and the most things that are going to be available to you. They're going to be the most flexible with your prescription and the different features you want, because there's a ton of options out there to meet just about any preference. So Zenni glasses is the option that I have been using in the past. I actually have a pair of regular glasses as well as a pair of sunglasses that both fit under the mask, because even with my bad prescription I can get a pair with polycarbonate lenses for about $75 out the door. I'm not as worried about breaking them because if I do, that's much more reasonable to replace. Still a big expense for my prescription, but much better compared to something that might be $500 or $600 from the eye doctor. They're not perfect, but they work, and they're not cost prohibitive. The takeaway for using regular glasses is that you can get them cheap and you have a ton of options to pick from, but they won't always be the best for staying put and may be prone to breaking. So another option you can do is sport glasses or goggles. The main concern for any type of goggle or sports glasses is whether they'll fit under your mask, the fogging issue, because they will fog up, and their affordability, because they can get pretty expensive. So I'll show you two different types that I have. These are actually my husband's, but they're relevant for this. Okay, so the first pair we have is these. They are very form-fitting and tight to the face. They will definitely fit under your fencing mask. However, they still may get hit by the mask when you take an impact at the part that reaches out the furthest point from your face. I'm going to take these off now because I can't see anything with them on because they're my husband's prescription. These, if you can't see, they have a lot of nicks and scratches at the top from the mask hitting them, but they are the closest fitting and most form-fitting option that you can get. The downside of this, though, is because they fit closer to the face, they are much more prone to fogging up, even with little bits of vents on the back in the foam. So you can get anti-fogging chemicals to put on the lenses, or you can use good old spit. They help a little bit, but it's not foolproof, and fogging will almost certainly still be an issue for you. They are very nice because they will stay on when the mask comes off and when you're grappling. Obviously, nothing is going to stay on perfectly when you're grappling, but they'll stay on pretty good. And of course, you might not be doing something that has grappling, so it might not be relevant. If you're doing dog brothers, grappling is a concern. If you're doing fencing or you're looking at this for paintballing, then obviously that's not gonna matter to you. These also have removable arms, and you can put the strap on instead. The lenses pop in and out so you can replace them, including with sunglass lenses. They are a very flexible plastic. They also offer full wraparound coverage, so you can use them for other sports and things like shooting. However, smaller goggles may have prescription limitations since you can't always fit the thickness of the lenses in the small range, or it can't deal with the curvature. Design doesn't allow for all thickness ranges, so you might either not have your prescription available, or you might have to go with a higher index material that might not be as impact resistant as polycarbonate. These can also be cost prohibitive, especially if you're just trying them out and you aren't even sure if they're going to work for you. This particular pair was $150 with a very low prescription. That's not crazy, but again, if you're not sure if you'll end up liking them, that can be a decent chunk of change. And of course, if you have a bad prescription like me, there'll probably be a lot more. So then we have these, a more sporty type of frame. Of course, they are a lot bulkier, a lot bigger. They fit much forward on the face and much wider at the sides, so they may be a lot harder to fit under a mask. Many styles of goggles and sports glasses probably won't fit under your mask at all. Now, assuming they do fit under your mask, they're still probably going to take a lot of impact when you get hit in the face, if that is a concern for you. But on the other hand, because they fit so snug, they're probably not going to get knocked around at all. The mask's going to hold them in place really, really well. Types like these are much less likely to fog because, as you can see, they have very large vents on the side. This particular pair also has some neat features like this soft silicone nose pad and these very flexible ear pieces for the strap. And because of the larger size, they also have a much bigger flexibility range for fitting prescriptions if you have really bad eyes. This particular pair is from Zenni. It was really cheap, about $40 out the door. With my husband's prescription, mine would have been $16 more, but that does make them affordable to try out even if you don't end up liking them. So the takeaway summary for sports goggles and glasses is that they may not fit under your mask and they can be prone to fogging. However, they will be secure and very good at taking impacts. They can also be expensive and may have limited prescription ranges available. So there is one final option, which is what I went with and what I think works best, although it's a lot harder to implement because the frames are very hard to find. These are special glasses that are made by the military and eye protection companies. They are designed to fit under a respirator or a gas mask and still have a good seal, so they're very low profile to your face. I'm going to put them on in a second. I know someone who fights in these and he highly recommended them. The frames were very cheap. I think they were about $25 or $30 online, so I picked up a pair to try them out. They are great, and I believe these are the perfect solution. So you can see that these are very low profile and fit very, very close to the face. When you're taking the mask on and off, it basically feels like there's nothing on your face at all. Because of the tight fit, they're not going to get bumped around on impact, and they also are supposed to stay on really good when you go to the round and grappling. Again, nothing is perfect, and it's not always going to stay on in all grappling situations just because of the nature of grappling, but The strap is pretty tight and they are very, very snug fit to your face. They are made of a softer plastic. They're not flexible, but they do have some give to them. They're held in place by a simple rubber strap. Instead of earpieces, they have these little things here that flex to the side of your face, which makes them very adaptable for different face sizes. They fit me, and I'm a lady with a fairly small head because I'm kind of a small lady. They're not very attractive, but who gives a shit about that in this context? Depending on where you buy these, they may come with lenses. I bought them from a place, again, they were cheaper. They were about $30 for the frames, and I have to take them to my optometrist and put lenses in. Of course, depending on your optometrist, there might be also restrictions and limitations with that. But on the other hand, it does mean that you can probably get your lenses covered by insurance if you have eye care. I did find one place you could order from online that would do the prescription lenses for you as well, but I'm not quite sure on the cost of those or if they have prescription limitations. I will link them both down below though if that is helpful to you. These are actually really hard to find nowadays. The guy who recommended them to me told me what site he got them on, but I looked quite a lot and was having trouble finding them. The military used to issue these, however, they have since moved on to inserts that fit into the mask itself rather than universal ones that go on you. That seems to be the same with most modern mask manufacturers themselves. Consequently, this style is pretty hard to find. You can still find some on eBay. There's still a few sites that carry them. And again, there is one eye protection company that does still carry these, but they can be pretty hard to track down and even harder to find in stock. If you do find them and you do like them, I recommend getting a couple spare pairs just in case they're impossible to find again in the future. I have these that are going to get lenses put in by my optometrist this week, and then I'm going to get a spare pair of frames just in case it breaks, and another pair that I can put sunglass lenses in eventually. The summary for using combat inserts or gas mask inserts is that these are cheap, very low profile, and very secure. However, they can be challenging to find, and they will often require you to have an optometrist put in the lenses. So if you aren't looking for a fencing mask in particular, but some other sort of face protective gear or eyewear, something like that, you may have additional options available to you. For example, you can get prescription swim goggles or prescription visors on helmets and things like that. So there are other options that you can look into if they are relevant to you, but those can often be cost prohibitive. These sort of things work with almost all kinds of masks and face protection, so I would definitely explore these options first before you go into the expensive ones. If you end up liking the expensive ones, it can be worth it, but again, it is a bit of a gamble. Finally, if your eyes are not that bad, just go without entirely. You'll probably be fine. If you're like me and you can't even see the other person, then it's a little bit more of a concern. Some final tips for everyone that I picked up while I was researching on the web. 1, if you wear bifocals, don't go with them for any of your prescription stuff. They'll add extra cost. They limit the real estate of your lenses, and they actually may prove more detrimental to the activity than helpful, since you're probably not going to be reading a lot at the same time that you're fencing. Consider where you're going to be doing the activity when you decide what kind of lenses you want. If you primarily practice outside in the park, you may actually want to go with prescription sunglasses instead of regular lenses, or get transition lenses if that's something you like. And this may be common sense, but if you can try it on, you should always try it on, whether that's going to a paintball shop or a fencing store or a place that sells lens inserts or your optometrist or any place that has masks and goggles that you can try on. You can buy online, but there is some risk in doing so because you don't necessarily know when it arrives if it's going to fit you. So that includes both trying on whatever headgear you're going to be wearing as well as whatever eyewear you're going to be wearing underneath it. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I know it took me a lot of resources and a lot of research to sort of put everything together just because the information was so scattered online. So I hope a summary video is helpful to folks. While it's not exhaustive for all contacts and all types of helmets and masks and face protection, I think I covered pretty much everything that is relevant to fencing masks and similar type headwear. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and until next time.